All right, this one's new to me. Somebody linked it. I saw the title. I'm curious. We have a Fox News segment. As so often the story begins, what do we got? Minnie Mouse swaps iconic red dress for pantsuit. Okay? Sure. Tell me. Let me know. What do we got? Fox News, what are we mad about today?
I mean, look, this is why people don't take these people seriously. They're taking all of these things that nobody was offended by. It's like they have to get rid of them and destroy them because they're bored. You know, they're absolutely bored. They're trying to destroy fabrics of our society, pretending that there's issues. So everybody.
Oh, wait, that's Candace Owens. I wasn't even paying attention. Keep in mind, Vosh, keep in mind it's not even permanent. It's just for an event in March. Yeah, you can see this right here. It says Stella McCartney. They're obvious. Why? Like, Disney would never change an iconic design of one of their characters like that. Like, Disney's been repping the same designs for like a century. They're not going to randomly just be, yeah, it's like for a little thing. Destroy the fabric of our society. Isn't it really interesting how conservatives will pretend to care about like real values, real America? You know, the fabric of our society is immaterial, you know, but like the fabric of our society is also the costume that the mouse wears in the company that makes the movies. It's revealing of how like corporate either their mindsets are or the mindsets they think their followers are. The fabric of American society is not the dress that Minnie Mouse wears, I hope.
Looks over here. Look at Minnie Mouse. Don't look at inflation, Jesse. Look at Minnie Mouse.
What?
The world is going forward because you've got her in a pantsuit. Never mind that you can't get anything at the grocery store and you can't buy a piece of bacon unless you've got $30 in your pocket. At least we're addressing the real problem, which is Minnie Mouse.
That's right.
What was that little giggle she did?
Minnie Mouse.
That's right.
I feel like this is her kind of laughing at the fact that you can just say anything as a conservative commentator. Like, right? Like, wouldn't you? Like this sounds like a bit that I would do. You know what I mean? Like this sounds like a joke that I would do, you know? Yeah, dude. Huh, sure, fine. Okay, fine. Ignore the Russia-Ukraine situation. Sure. Ignore the growing childhood poverty in American households. Sure. Focus on your Fortnite Lil Nas X expo at April 27th convention Fortnite play Fortnite $4. Okay? Sure. Yeah, whatever. Like it's like a meme. Like it's like a joke. Can you come off the top of your head with anything stupider than what she said, like in the same vein as what she's saying? Because legitimately, I would have to think, like, they're changing Minnie's outfit to distract you from inflation. It's genuinely difficult to think, and she knows that. I mean, Candace Owens is one of the more naked grifters out there. It's pretty forthcoming, you know, that she doesn't believe the stuff she says. But yeah, if you can get away with saying this, I in a way, I'm actually jealous because I have to try. She doesn't have to try. That makes me mad, you know? Like, I have to try. I have to think, like, what are arguments that pertain to the real world? What are facts that I have to know to say things? They don't even have to do that. They can just say whatever. I'm envious, you know. You know what? We're sure. Okay, fine. We'll throw in Tucker Carlson as well because we never did that damn Eminem segment. Hold on. We can just throw this in. This is the same category of stuff, you know. Leftists are destroying America by taking away your corporate icon. Though I think even Tucker Carlson, I haven't actually seen a clip, you know. I only watch stuff for stream. I don't even think like Tucker Carlson said it was a distraction from inflation, but who knows? Maybe he did. Maybe he did. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe I'll find out. Who knows?
Change is that the other big change is that the brown M&M has, quote, transitioned from high stilettos to lower block heels. Also less sexy. That's progress. M&Ms will not be satisfied until every last cartoon character is deeply unappealing and totally androgynous. Until the moment you wouldn't want to have a drink with any one of them. That's the goal. When you're totally turned off, we've achieved equity. They've won.
I don't know what I expected. I don't know what kind of rhapsodious sexual interest you're trying to, I don't know what you're trying to get from this to begin with. The brown M&M looks like the mean people do, where they Photoshop out the nose. I don't know why her lips are so close to her eyes, but that's what it looks like to me, a little bit, you know. Uh, so I don't know what people are trying to. Now, I can pull some analytical thread out of this. I can say something a little bit more insightful than conservatives dumb. We know conservatives are dumb. If you're watching me, you probably already agree with that. And if you don't agree with that, then you're dumb. See, look at how easy that is. I could pull something out of here. Okay, I think that one of the things that conservatives are really, really good at doing, and this is a short list, so pay attention when they are good at doing something, is they're really good at capturing a person's feeling of unease at the state of things and then throwing them in the worst possible direction for it. Okay, they're like that really bad enabler friend who, like, you're talking with them about your relationship and you're like, and lately I just feel like we haven't been spending as much time together, and they're like, you're completely right. The reason they're not spending as much time with you is because, in actuality, they're an illusion. They're fake, all right? You're schizophrenic, and even I'm not real. And then they spend 6 months gaslighting you. Like, their goal is to take a feeling of unease and then try to just send you off in the worst imaginable direction. Samantha, wake up, etc. And in this case, like, most everyone in America right now feels a sense of unease at where we are for an almost uncountable number of reasons, but by centering discourse around stuff like Eminem not fuckable, somehow to me the Eminem did not change its level of unfuckability. It's pretty much the same before and after, but and Minnie Mouse is wearing a different costume. I mean, complaining about a change of clothes. Essentially, fabric of America being destroyed, change of clothes. And anytime you want to like make fun of conservatives, by the way, you can point out they'll use like this apocalyptic language for anything. I mean, the garbage collector doesn't come on time, destruction of America, whatever. They throw that around like anything. Tan suit, Obama wore, destruction of America. They don't care. There's just anything. It's a meaningless buzzword that they use to excite fear. And the issue is, this is kind of a desensitization thing. Your average conservative Fox News viewer is so keyed up to the imminent destruction of America that they need to use this language to even get them like awake, Like, no longer will conservatives who watch Fox News care if they're like, oh yeah, we have serious concerns about the direction the Biden administration is going. Because that's pussy shit compared to the language they've been using, That's not enough. You can't, like, that will not get them out of the bed, okay? This is like hardcore gateway drug shit. You need like a spoonful of opium to even have a chance of getting these motherfuckers, to pay attention. And can't feel anything else. So it's destruction of America this, destruction of America that. And I think it speaks, I guess, to the really like sad place our culture is in, that this is something that could ever work for anyone. Like, these corporate icons are the focal points around which they'll try to exacerbate this culture war issue. I genuinely have to wonder, like, does stuff like this happen from the far right media pundits in like Spain or like France or Germany? It probably does. I'm gonna possibly make a fool of myself though and take a guess and assume that it might be a bit worse here in America. The conflation of national identity with corporate iconography. Maybe there's some unique like America keyed alienation here. Like, there's the same type of stuff, but I feel like America might have it. I feel like we might have it worse, and I'm guessing at that. America famously no culture except for black people. Funny how that worked, right? Basically every major cultural export of America has been black people created. I don't know. White people really sleeping on that shit, Hey, whites, you gotta wake up, okay? You did Italy, kind of. Italians are kind of white, right? You did stuff. France has the Palace of Versailles. You did stuff. There's some cultural juice. What were you done? You got bored? Then you come over here to America and it's like, all right, motherfucker. Okay, we're going blues, R&B, jazz, rock and roll, rap, okay? Black music, let's go. Worldwide revolution, let's go. All right, yeah, babe. All right, like what are we doing? Like, come on. Come on. And chicken fried steak. Is that not American? That's probably American. We deserve to have that, I think. It's good. Very good. Anyway, yeah, we're sleeping on that one. It's just, there doesn't seem like there's that much, like, if you were to convince an American that their culture is going down the drain, how do you do it without pointing at corporate mascots? I'm actually wondering, like, I'm actually asking, like, what else is there, right? You know? In France, the Notre Dame had itself a little bit of a burn down. And I thought that was genuinely sad. Now, my sadness at that was kind of overcome by how funny I thought all the malding white nationalists were being about, you know, because they thought some Muslims set Notre Dame on fire. And then it turns out wasn't it because they cheaped out on restoration efforts? They weren't willing to properly invest in it, so there were like lax safety standards and like, oh well, Capital does it again. I think that was it, yeah. So like, yeah, but they were like, oh, some Muslim burned it down, you know. But Notre Dame was a really cool building, you know. I no hate. I like big buildings. I don't like the fact that they took 200 years to build, you know, and that probably a bunch of people died during or whatever. But I like big buildings. I think they're shiny. We don't have that many buildings like that here in America because everything here is relatively new. At least everything we built is relatively new. You know, there were Native American cities that predate us by hundreds and thousands of years, but, you know, those are gone. Everything we built's relatively new. We don't have those big buildings, not in the same way. Or they, you know, they get dilapidated. We don't keep them up the same. And the point I'm trying to get at is like, how do I get at this exactly? If America had a Notre Dame, I know the Statue of Liberty, If America had a Statue of Liberty, hypothetically, okay? I want to be clear. I don't like America. But if there was some kind of damage done to it, some sort of symbolic terrorist damage, I kind of like the Statue of Liberty, you know? I actually like the Statue of Liberty. I think it's a bit cheesy. It's a little bit pastiche, I think. But what it represents is nice. It's the beacon for immigrants at you know, who arrive by boat. Like, that's a nice thing to aspire to. It's hypocritical. We, you know, turned away Jewish refugees before the Holocaust. We turn people away all the time. You know, I'm not saying we fulfill the promise, but the promise is nice, right? Give me your ye hungry, ye poor, right? I think there's a symbolic value there. And if that symbol was attacked, I think that's an acceptable vector for people to complain that something fundamental to this country is being attacked. You know? I mean, the World Trade Center, I mean, what were the financial buildings? I mean, I guess that's pretty American, sure. But, you know, hit the Statue of Liberty, symbolic meaning there beyond Capitol. Though you'd kill far fewer people hitting the Statue of Liberty, which is, I mean, probably better than people not die in terrorist attacks, you know. So we'll save the utilitarian calculations on what should have been 9/11 for later. The point I'm getting at is I don't think we have much else to look at, so it's the corporate mascots that they fixate on. You know? You get what I'm like getting at, right? The reason they fixate on that stuff is because there's a dearth of other meaningful cultural artifacts for them to look towards and to complain about meaningful change. I think honestly, I think the Dr. Seuss stuff was more valid than this, right? Dr. Seuss is at least an American icon read by hundreds of millions of people. You know, Minnie Mouse it's the dress change, and the Dr. Seuss stuff wasn't even meaningful. It was meaningless, and I think it had more meaning. Get me out of this segment. Get me out. Get me out. Click it before I scream. Oh, God. Don't get me out. We have a thing. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. I remember this. Yes. Now, this is not something European countries suffer. if you're a Eurocuck and you're watching and you're thinking, well, we have our far right, we have capital as well, you have no idea how bad it can get. You have no idea. And conservatives create this. But conservatives do this. When conservatives talk about the fabric of America being destroyed because of Disney or because of M&Ms or whatever, they are the ones doing this. They are the ones drawing this link, you know? And God, what do we even have here? Panda Express? Really? Really? Panda Express? Is that real? Don't get me wrong. I love me some orange chicken and cream cheese wontons, but really? It's American? No, I'm just saying it's not that big. I don't know. We have money up there. That's nice. Like, no room for us. Very good. What would you say American culture is? Vosh? I would say that American culture is about looking forward, because there's not that much in our past to inspire us in terms of like cultural artifacts. I would say that American culture is trying to build artifacts of meaning in the the war-torn, rubble-strewn alleyways that cut up the massive business district that actually controls the country. Does that make sense? I feel like culture is I feel like culture in America is building exemptions. It's building caveats. Oh, you guys are too obsessively fixated on me doing the Vosh's straight joke again to even care about the nice analogy that I drew. All right, cut it. Why is there no Arby's though? One day.